What's up guys, welcome back to Mr. D's Tech News and Reviews. So today's video is going to be a little different. I've actually gotten a few messages through my Facebook asking me about the money on YouTube and if it's worth it. I know most people don't usually go and make YouTube content, so it's kind of unknown, but it's normal to get curious about how there are people making a living off of YouTube videos. So rather than write a bunch of details into a message, I decided to just make a video. Now, if you Google making money on YouTube, chances is you'll see this. Most of these videos are pretty clickbaity and don't end up telling you too much information, and especially no actual information pertaining to their specific account. There are websites like socialblade.com that let you get an idea of how a channel with a specific subscriber count makes. But let's look up PewDiePie for instance. Now, obviously, you know he makes a lot of money, but look at this margin gap. I mean, that's not too exact. I mean, you have a pretty big wide gap here. So how much is he actually making? I mean, is there any way to tell? Well, before I get too deep into the numbers, I can tell you right now, it's really not worth it in the beginning stages, at least as a viable income source. If you have other reasons for doing it, such as a hobby or just for fun, that's great. But keep this in mind, you need a considerable amount of constant views before you can just decide to quit your day job and go into this full time. Now in my case, I enjoy making these videos, and as you'll see in a second, they're obviously not my main source of income, but I do them because I love tech. And if I get more opportunities to review more things in the future, that would be awesome. So without any more delays, I'll show you the stuff behind the scenes of a small tech review channel like mine. So first of all, when I get to my channel, this is what I see. And I only have, as you can see, about 1,400 subscribers and 155,000 views. Then you got all my videos, playlist, then you got featured channels that I could put there personally, and then some channels that are just put there by YouTube that they automatically recommend. Here you have two buttons that lead you to my Facebook and Twitter page. And this, if you press this button, it gives you the option to support me by giving me $1, $5, or whatever else you disclose. So basically all this should look pretty similar to what you see when you visit my site. If I go to my dashboard, a few things change though. Now I have some of the analytic information from my channel available to me. On the top I have the watch time in minutes with a line graph, and the same goes for the views, the subscribers, and the estimated revenue. It says an estimation, but it's usually pretty correct and spot on. And it's worth mentioning that from this page, all of the stats you're looking at are only pertaining to the last 28 days, going back from 2 days ago. And this is because YouTube takes 2 days to post the information, and sometimes even a bit more than that. And if you notice, at the end of the revenue graph, the line just plummets at the end. That doesn't mean I didn't make any money that day, it's just more probable that they haven't gotten to update it yet. Now, if I go to the actual analytics tab on the side, you get a lot more information. Right on the top, you can see that all the information we have on the bottom is from November 25th to December 22nd. And you get a wide variety of information at that. From total time viewers spend watching your content, how long on average they stay on a video after clicking on it, and how many views and estimated revenue. It's pretty much the same stuff you saw on the dashboard. Except now you can roll the mouse over the line graph and it'll give you the values for any specific day. If you're wondering what the little arrow means, is that in this period of 28 days, that specific category is doing less than in the previous 28 days. At the bottom, you have a list of all your videos dividing the information specific to each individual video. So for example, you can see that in the last 28 days, my most viewed video is the Mavic 4K review. And in that time, it's gained 14,000 views and made me $27. Which I'm sure you're thinking now, wow, that's not much. And you'd be right, not at all. But I'm going to dive deeper into that in a second. Finally, in the bottom, you have 4 sections where you can see what countries are watching you most, how your videos are recommended, the percentage of what gender watches you the most, and the playback wow, no females, huh? Anyways, you get the idea here. You also have the real-time tab, and here you get 2 bar graphs that let you see the views for the last 48 hours and splits it for every individual hour, and you also get the same deal with the 1 hour bar graph that is also divided into individual minutes. And below is a list showing the same information on a video by video basis. And finally, here it is, guys, the info you're most curious about, the revenue. Here you can see what you already saw in the overview tab as well as on the dashboard. I've made $109 these 28 days. But it actually goes a little further than that. It lets you know how much of that is coming from ads versus YouTube Red subscribers. What about if I want to know how much I've made since I first started YouTube? That's pretty easy. All I gotta do then is drag this slider all the way to about the end of May, beginning of June. And there it is. As you can see, it looks a little different. When I first started, I wasn't making any money except for an occasional cent or two until pretty much the end of September. And even then, it was pretty laughable. All of the videos I've made and all of the time I put in, if I was in this to make money, I would have just quit a while back. Total, I've only made about $260 in about a half a year. I mean, just look at my best day. That was on November 3rd. I made $26. I had just posted the Mavic video, and for one unknown reason or another, the YouTube algorithm bumped it up for a little bit, and I got a bunch of views. But it didn't last. It still gets a good amount of views, and it's why you can see that on the list below, it's made a total of $93 since it was posted. But that's all dependent on where the YouTube formula places the video when you specifically look something up, which is another point to consider. All YouTubers are at the mercy of the algorithm. If anything changes, your channel can suffer, and if it's your main source of income, that's not good. In fact, that's why in the recent weeks, many big YouTubers have been feeling what seems to be a change in the inner workings of YouTube, since views and subscribers are both down. But as of now, YouTube has denied any changes, so we gotta wait and see. You can't control the algorithm, but after you post your videos with all your tags, if you download the TubeBuddy extension on Chrome or Firefox, you can actually see how your video ranks when people look up that specific tag. If there's not ranks or no number, then that possibly means that that specific tag is probably overused and you're way down the list. Going back to the money talk, we have the transaction revenue, which is pretty much that button that I showed you before where you can make a donation to my channel. This was my cousin. He donated $1 and he wanted to see if I would receive it, and I did, but not before Google took out their cut. And speaking of which, under the last section of revenue, we have the ad rates tab. Here you can see that my YouTube ad revenue is $474, meaning that is how much money all the ads on my YouTube has made. So out of these $474, Google has taken their cut and only left me with $262. Which is fine, I guess, since I am putting my content on their site, but it is something to keep in mind. Next to the ad revenue, you can see the monetized playbacks, which is around 76,000, meaning your videos may not always play ads when viewed. And then you have the CPMs, which are basically how much the advertisers pay for those ads to show. So this is not really a revenue source, it's just showing you the cost of putting advertisement for 1,000 of your videos. Yeah, I know, it's a lot of information, but at least everything is very laid out and organized. So I hope I answered your questions about the whole YouTube earnings thing without any of the runaround or the BS. If you have any other questions on the matter, just ask them below and I'll try to answer them the best I can. By the way, if you saw a clip of this before on my channel, it's because I hit the stream button instead of the record button and didn't notice. Anyways, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you enjoy regular tech reviews, please make sure to subscribe. See you next time.